Soy el oficial Sowaba Shumawan de ISUPK Albany y aquí estamos en la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Estamos bajo el comandante general Yahana, que es un gran líder. Él está haciendo un show todos los lunes que se llama Black Watch. Ahora mismo se llama American Fire y es un show bien importante para nuestra nación. Pues sí, hoy vamos a tocar el tema de hermandad. Esta es la clase de hermandad todos los martes. Y vamos a tocar sobre el tema de David y la hermandad que enseñó con el rey Saúl. Y vamos a esperar que las invitaciones se manden y que vamos a esperar que también los hermanos se entran a la clase. Voy a mandar las invitaciones de pronto. Bear with me. Shalom Yahaba Shem Shabrakatah, al hermano Magan Amaz, el oficial, y Shalom Yahweh Shmarlatah, Hashem Yahushai, Akalaya, que es el rib del oficial Magan. Ok, vamos a ver si comenzamos la clase entonces. Pues sí, vamos a ir primero a Salmo capítulo 23 y versículo 4. Y dice: aunque ande en valle de sombra de muerte, no temeré mal alguno, porque tú estarás conmigo. Tu vara y tu callado me infundirán aliento. Y este es el rey David hablando de que, como dice, aunque ande en el valle de sombra de muerte, que aunque el peligro esté rodeado de él. Un segundo, mi gente, déjenme traer el oficial AG1 West. Shalom, Yahaba Shem Shabrakatah.
Hey, Shalom, Yabashim, Shabrakatah.
¿Cómo está, oficial? ¿Me escucha? You're on mute, sir.
No, it's like you're gonna have to forgive me. I still don't speak Spanish like that, yeah.
All right. Salaki there. All right, so let me go ahead and switch it up to a little bit of the English then.
I mean, I sure appreciate it. I ain't trying to mess up, the program that y'all got here, though.
No, you good, officer.
I appreciate you.
All right. So basically, my class was gonna be me showing how King David handled his situation with King Saul, and I was gonna show that there was some brotherhood there between them, even though there was a strafe. All right. So I first went to Psalms 23 and 4, where I had King David basically expressing his faith in the Lord. Let's go there real quick. Shalom, how about Shem Shabrakatah?
Shalom Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai Barakatam.
¿Cómo está, oficial Tabac?
Aquí estamos, mire, enfermos, pero ni hablar. Ahí estamos. Okay.
Está bien. Mejor, ojalá que te mejores.
Voy a mejorar. Claro que sí.
Pues sí, estamos en Salmo 23:4. Y estamos leyendo en español y estamos leyendo también en inglés.
Okay.
Y ahora mismo voy a leer en inglés. Dice, yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Diciendo más o menos que aunque está en peligro de muerte, que no le teme a lo mal hecho que viene por de él, que él sabe que el Señor está con él y que, tú sabes, él va a estar como preparado para todo. Como que la protección del mal está con él. Y eso es lo que ha pasado durante la historia de Saúl con David. Pues sí, también vamos a ir al 1 de Samuel, capítulo 18, del 1 a 5. We're going also to 1 Samuel, chapter 18, verse 1 through 5. Lo voy a leer en español primero. Y dice, aconteció que cuando él hubo acabado de hablar con Saúl, y esto era cuando David, digo, sí, que David habló con Saúl y él había ganado con Golías, creo yo que era, y le estaban dando todo como que le estaban dando la alabanza a David. Entonces estaba Jonatán escuchando entre Saúl y David la conversación que tenían. Y Jonatán como que estaba bien sorprendido del valor que tenía David. Entonces se hicieron amigos. Déjame ver si lo pongo en inglés aquí. So obviously this is when Jonathan and David became best friends. No sé si se ve como que está frisado. Oh, so you still there?
Yeah, I'm still.
You seem like you was freezing up.
It's like, yeah, sometimes in the basement, my phone will do that.
This is basically when David and Jonathan's friendship grew after the defeat of Goliath. This is 1 Samuel 18, 1-5. I'm gonna read it in Spanish, then I'll read it in English afterwards. Dice en 1 Samuel capítulo 18, versículo 1-5, aconteció que cuando él hubo acabado de hablar con Saúl, el alma de Jonatán quedó ligada con la de David y lo amó Jonatán como a sí mismo. Versículo 2, y Saúl le tomó aquel día y no le dejó volver a casa de su padre. Versículo 3, e hicieron pacto Jonatán y David, porque él le amaba como a sí mismo. Versículo 4, y Jonatán se quitó el manto que llevaba y se lo dio a David y otras ropas suyas, hasta su espada, su arco y su talabarte. Versículo 5, y salía David a donde quiera que Saúl le enviaba y se portaba prudentemente. Y lo puso Saúl sobre gente de guerra, y era acepto a los ojos de todo el pueblo y a los ojos de los siervos de Saúl. This is 1 Samuel chapter 18, verse 1. And it came to pass when he made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. 1 Samuel, actually verse 2. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house. Verse 3. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul. Verse 4, and Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him, and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. Verse 5, and David went out whithersoever Saul sent him, and behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. Entonces, ellos eran bien juntos. El Jonatán y David se hicieron bien amigos, bien ligados, ¿tú me entiendes? Porque ellos vieron como que Dios estaba con David, después de lo que hizo con Goliat. Entonces, aconteció que los dos hicieron como un pacto de hermandad, porque los dos estaban bien como juntos, eran como hermanos, right? Entonces yo lo voy a traer a 1 de Samuel, capítulo 19, del 1 a 6. So also I'm going to go to 1 Samuel 19, chapter 19, verse 1 through 6. Entonces dice, habló Saúl a Jonatán, su hijo, y a todos sus siervos, para que matasen a David. Pero Jonatán, hijo de Saúl, amaba a David en gran manera. Versículo 2. Y dio aviso a David diciendo, Saúl, mi padre, procura matarte. Por tanto, cuídate hasta la mañana y estate en lugar oculto y escóndete. Y yo saldré y estaré junto a mi padre en el campo donde estés. Y hablaré de ti a mi padre y te haré saber lo que haya. Versículo 4. Y Jonatán habló bien de David a Saúl, su padre, y le dijo, no peque el rey contra su siervo David, porque ninguna cosa ha cometido contra ti, y porque su obra han sido muy buena para contigo. Versículo 5, pues él tomó su vida en su mano y mató al filisteo, y Yahweh dio gran salvación a todo Israel. Tú lo viste y te alegraste. ¿Por qué pues pecará contra él sangre inocente, matando a David sin causa? Versículo 6. Y escuchó Saúl la voz de Jonatán y juró Saúl, vive Yahweh, que no morirá. Vamos a leer en inglés para el hermano. This is 1 Samuel. Hold on 1 second. We got a brother coming in.
It's like a tabak. If you ain't talking, put your phone on mute out.
Yahbashim Yahushua
Shalom, Yahabashim Shabrakatah. All right. I guess he got disconnected. All right, so this is 1 Samuel chapter 19, verse 1. And Saul spake to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David. I mean, after all, you know what I'm saying, David did. You know what I'm saying? Killing the Philistine. Now he wants to kill David for his acts, man. Like, damn. So let's go to verse 2. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul, my father seeketh to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, take heed to thyself until the morning, and abide in a secret place, and hide thyself. Verse 3, and I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee, and what I see that I will tell thee. First Samuel 19:4. And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, let not the king sin against his servant, against David, because he hath not sinned against thee, and because his works have been to thee ward very good. First Samuel 19:5. For he did put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine, and the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore, when wilt thou sin against innocent blood to slay David without a cause? Verse 6. And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul sware, as the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain. So, Laki, let me put in Kadayala real quick.
Lucky. The water.
Come. So I was saying, like, after all, you know what I'm saying, David did, Saul was seeking after him, and it wasn't right, man. That's not the brotherhood that Yahweh wants to us brothers here. Pues sí, la hermandad que Dios quiere no estaba con Saúl. Perdóname que yo estoy medio enfermito también. Estoy como... Pues sí, el problema de nuestra gente también, como que así que nos llevamos nosotros. Ahí, estamos como fuera de lugar con todo lo que Dios quiere, y no estamos como no estamos en la mira de querer nuestro propio hermano. ¿Me entiendes? Estamos como desorganizados, estamos como perdidos en qué es lo que Dios quiere. Estamos haciendo lo que uno quiere hacer, pero nada, voy a seguir para adelante para enseñar de que nosotros ahora estamos haciendo lo que uno quiere hacer. No estamos siguiendo las reglas de que Dios quiere que uno siga. Déjame Primer de Juan, capítulo 4, versículo 20. Y que está allá, si tú me lo puedes leer, por favor.
Vamos a buscar. El libro de Primera de Juan, capítulo 4, versículo 20.
Sí, de 20 a 21.
20-21. Todos estamos ahí, hermanos. Ok, dice, Primera de Juan, capítulo 4, versículo 20, dice, si alguno dice, yo amo a Yahweh y aborrece a su hermano, es mentiroso. Pues el que no ama a su hermano, a quien ha visto, ¿cómo puede amar a Dios que no ha visto? Y nosotros tenemos este mandamiento de él. El que ama a Yahweh, ama también a su hermano.
Damn right. Pues sí, dice, si yo amo a Dios y aborrece a su hermano, es mentiroso. Y eso es lo que el rey Saúl estaba demostrando con el rey David. ¿Tú me entiendes? Cuando él lo estaba persiguiendo, él no estaba enseñando esa hermandad. Él sí estaba como quillado con él, por razones de que él lo estaba envidiando un poco. Porque dice, pues, que no ama a su hermano, a quien él está viendo, ¿cómo puede amar a Dios a quien no ha visto? Y eso es así. ¿Me entiendes? Cuando nosotros estamos pensando de amar a Dios y uno no lo está viendo ahí, pero sí ve el hermano de tuyo todos los días, eso... perdón, mi hermano, que estoy un poco enfermo. Y dice, y nosotros tenemos este mandamiento de él. El que ama a Dios, ama también a su hermano. Y eso es claramente lo que está pasando ahí. Also, is it okay if you take over for a bit?
It's like you're talking to me.
Con.
Take over for the reading.
Yeah, like right now. I'm not feeling it right now.
Said you're not feeling it right now?
Yeah, I don't feel like kind of good.
This might be the wrong class for you to be teaching in, huh? Where you at?
I'm 1 John 4:20 to 21.
20.
Then I was gonna go to 1 Samuel 24.
Right, since this is a brotherhood scripture anyway. 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? Verse 21. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God loveth his brother, love his brother also. Here we're going back to 1 Samuel.
Yeah, 1 Samuel 24, 1 through 6. And then I was gonna keep on going to Matthew 18, 21, 22.
First Samuel chapter 24, verses 1 through 6. And it came to pass when Saul was returned from following the Philistines, that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of En-gedi. Verse 2. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel, and went to seek David and his men upon the rocks of the wild goats. Verse 3. And he came to the sheepcotes by the way, where was a cave, and Saul went in to cover his feet, and David and his men remained in the sides of the cave. Verse 4. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemy into thine hand, that thou mayest do to him as it shall seem good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the shirt of Saul's robe privately. Verse 5. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him, because he had cut off Saul's skirt. Verse 6. And he said unto his men, The Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, the Lord's anointed, to stretch forth mine hand against him, seeing he is the anointed of the Lord. So now Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 and 22. Matthew chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Verse 22. Yahweh saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. Any other scriptures you want me to read for you, brother?
Sir. John 15, 12 to 14. 1 Samuel 26 and 18. And then Matthew 5:22.
Can you write these all out in the chat? See, I must have dropped out. Now, if y'all want to go back to reading in the Spanish, I mean, this is the type of thing that I got to learn anyway. If y'all want to go back to reading into the Spanish, we can skip the English, and I can just follow along in the Spanish and try to keep up with you.
Okay.
All right, give me a second. Let me write it. Let me write it down for you.
It's like the other one. I can read the scripture John 15, 12, and 14 in Spanish if you guys like.
Hey, Gadiala, what's your rank?
Salakis, I'm a trooper, sir.
Oh, you're a trooper? All right, no sweat.
Sir.
Gonna wait till Sawab come back. Let him make the call.
Sir.
Looks like it's just us. Gadiali still with me?
Sir.
All right. So until they get back, why don't you start off in the Spanish with John 15, 12 through 14, and then I'll read back in English.
El libro de Juan, capítulo 15, versículo 12 a 14, dice: Este es mi mandamiento, que os améis unos a otros como yo os he amado. Nadie tiene mayor amor que este, que uno ponga su vida por sus amigos. Vosotros sois mis amigos si hacéis lo que yo os mando.
That was the end of it.
Sir.
So in English, John chapter 15, verse 12 through 14. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command. What's like if ye do whatsoever I command you. Now let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 22.
Okay. El libro de Mateo, capítulo 5, versículo 22. Dice: Pero yo os digo que cualquiera que se enoje contra su hermano será culpable de juicio, y cualquiera que diga necio a su hermano será culpable ante el concilio, y cualquiera que le diga fatuo quedará expuesto al infierno de fuego.
I don't know too much Spanish, but I know what the fuck fuego means. Get with you. I know what the fuck fuego means. But I say, Matthew chapter 5, verse 22. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment, and whosoever shall say to his brother Rakah shall be in danger of the council, but whosoever shall say thou fool shall be in danger of hellfire. Now you understand what that's all getting to, right?
Sir, if you can elaborate on that, sir.
Absolutely. So let's bring it from the top. So one thing in the truth that these brothers had was brotherhood. Outside of keeping the laws of God and thus having God's protection, the only other thing that we got on this earth is brotherhood. The way we treat each other, the way that we operate around each other. Same thing with sisterhood. So anytime we say brotherhood, that's synonymous with sisterhood as well. And you've seen how people can act in the world. They get mad over they flip a lid over the dumbest shit. Things that would be very easy to resolve if a brother were to just go to the other man or to that woman and be like, listen, Slack, you're like, I feel offended that you did this or this, or you said this or that. And right then and there, it could be squashed. Now, if that person, like in the school, in the truth, if that person were to disagree, we're not going to sit there, go back and forth. We're just going to take it straight to the council and then have them judge the matter. So when it says Matthew 22 verse 5, or Slacky, Matthew chapter 22, or no, Slacky, Matthew chapter 5 verse 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. So as quick as things get you riled up, some people, I mean, they trip. They don't even trip over an offense. They trip over something that maybe they just didn't like. Maybe they don't like the color blue and brother's wearing the color blue. That's not a reason to get mad about fucking anything. But all too often, it's like for the language, but all too often, we have little issues like that. You know, that's not a justifiable cause to be angry. So now you're gonna be guilty of the judgment. It's like you shall be in danger of the judgment. You could do or say something that would actually make you the offender, and now that judgment's gonna get reversed on to you. So now you're gonna be the one getting checked. You're gonna be the one possibly losing rank. You're gonna be the one getting fined. You're gonna be the one having to do 500 push-ups, all because you didn't like the color blue, and then you got angry with that brother and you treated him different because he was wearing a colored shirt that you just didn't like. You would have preferred if he wore red. It don't matter what the hell he wears. That's not an issue for us to get mad about. And whosoever shall say to his brother Rakah. Now, if I don't have it with me, do you got a Zondervan Bible dictionary?
No, sir.
No sweat. Just for sake of time, Rakah is simply it's just a term of disrespect. It's a term of hostility of it's just a diss. It's just it's just a diss in Hebrew. You just kind of disrespecting somebody. Shall be in danger of the council. So now you taking it, but you're not going to him or her with a just cause. You're not laying out what the possible offense was. You're not airing your grievance out. You just damn near cussing them out. You just insulting them without provocation. So now you're gonna be in danger of the council. That brother that sister was justifiable to take you straight to council for that. Well, I know it's like I should say the protocol would be let that person know that you just got offended by what they had said to you. And then if like say I said something, to you like that, and then you found offense to that, you came to me and you said, listen, this you offended me. I don't appreciate that. If I don't apologize right then and there, take me to counsel, and that's again, it's gonna be a similar consequence to being in danger of the judgment. You can be at the mercy of the council for for jumping out the window and offending the brother without cause, without provocation. You're just running your mouth, and this can be pretty much the same thing. They all add up to the same thing: be in danger of the council, or it's like be in danger of the judgment, be in danger of the council, and be in danger of hellfire. It's all pretty much leading up to the same thing. Just kind of giving you different, not even degrees of it necessarily, but because it's all going to be, it's all essentially the same definitions. The judgment, the council, and hellfire, it's all punishment. So when we take matters, making a mountain out of a molehill, when we take small matters and we use that as a platform to offend one another, we are breaking those laws of brotherhood. You're not going to your brother saying that you got an you're tripping over something that you really ain't got no right to be offended by, and you're taking it out on that person unjustifiably. They didn't do nothing to you. You got no reason to take them to a council, but you're just mad at them and you're nitpicking about shit. So now they would have every right to bring you up on charges. And then if you're still in that spirit, you're gonna refuse to apologize. Otherwise, you would have gained a brother. And when you get brought to judgment, you get brought to council, and you get brought to that hellfire, you're gonna be the one punished. Fair enough?
Council to order, sir.
On the bar. All right, let's go and get 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 20.
Council. Okay, I have it here. El primero de Samuel, versículo 26, perdón, capítulo 26, versículo 20, dice, no caiga,
Give me
pues
one.
ahora.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to get there with you. I've got a Spanish Bible app opened up. I'm gonna just try to read it with you. 20. You got it, brother.
Acá, el libro de Primera Samuel, versículo 20, perdón, capítulo 26, versículo 20. No caiga, pues ahora, mi sangre en tierra delante de Yahweh, porque ha salido el rey de Israel a buscar una pulga, así como quien persigue una perdiz por los montes.
In English, 1 Samuel chapter 26, verse 20. Now therefore let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. For the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea, as when it's like to come out to seek a flea, as when one doth hunt a partridge in the mountains. Shit, you know what that's talking about?
No idea.
He's going back to scrutinize. When the Most High comes back, it ain't gonna be to teach a lesson. It ain't gonna be to it's gonna be either to raise up or tear down. He's gonna be raising up the nation of Israel. He's gonna be tearing down these other nations. But then within Israel, he's gonna sit there and nitpick every little offense. So that's the metaphor that is given you when it says, for a king of Israel is come out to seek a flea. You know, fleas are tiny. Fleas are hard to spot. It's hard to catch. And you know, basically he's saying, you know, let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. He's how would I say he's hoping that he don't get judged. He's hoping that he done his part, and he's hoping that he's not going to be guilty, and his blood's going to have to get spilled. So yes, come out to seek a flea as when one doth hunt a partridge in the mountains. You know that's not an easy thing. You got all that landscape, just like with a flea. You know, especially if it's on the carpet or something like that, you're going to be searching high and low. You're going to be with a magnifying glass trying to find that little guy. So I mean, you don't want to have anything on your record that would be unbrotherly. Since we're on this topic on Tuesdays too, you don't want to have anything on your record that's unbrotherly against your people, to where you're gonna end up getting it's gonna get found out. It's gonna come to light sooner or later. The angels are gonna have a report on you, on everything that you did wrong, every offense that you made, especially any offense that you made that you did not apologize for. If you didn't go to that brother and say, you know, it's like I feel like I did this or that, I want to make sure I'm good. And hoping that you found justified.
So lucky, sir. Sir. I believe that Officer Magan wants to get in the class. I believe he's chatting. Send the chat, the private chat. So lucky.
You said Magan?
Yeah, Officer Magan. He's
Saludos, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, yes. Officer Magama from Puerto Rico. Yeah, we got difficulty, right? If the Officer Magan, the Officer Batch, he can take over in Spanish. Salakia, if you could do that.
Hold on. Who else? It's like in Magan. What's your rank out there in Puerto Rico again?
I'm here in Puerto Rico, sir. In Puerto Rico, yes, sir.
So like, what rank again? Shit, connectivity issues. Shit. I know. So Gadiala is Spanish your first or second language?
My second language, sir. I'm good with both.
Second. No sweat, no sweat. Let's move on to Luke chapter 6, verse 31.
Okay. Salaki, sir, you want me to read it in Spanish or English?
You got it in Spanish, Baba Kasha.
Come. One moment.
Oh, Salaki, can
Tabak,
you
mute
hear
your
me
mic,
now?
brother. Yeah, we can hear you, Magun.
Come, sir. If the officer Tabak, if he want to take over in Spanish,
Let's let the trooper get some stripes. Go ahead, trooper.
Yes, estamos en el libro de Lucas, capítulo 6, versículo 31. ¿Y cómo queréis que hagan los hombres con vosotros? Así también haced vosotros con ellos. I'm done, sir.
Hey, Tabak, mute your mic. And that was the end of it, Gadiala. That was pretty short, right?
Come, sir. That's the end of it, sir.
Luke chapter 6, verse 31. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. So, I mean, we kind of understand that. We've been reading the left and right all throughout the Bible. You know, doing to others as you would have them doing to you. And in a sense, this is kind of reversed. I mean, it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing. All right, we can go on to Samuel 26 and 25. 1 Samuel 26 and 25.
Come. El libro de 1 Samuel, capítulo 26, versículo 25, dice, y Saúl dijo a David, bendito eres tú, hijo mío, David. Sin duda emprenderás tus cosas grandes y prevalecerás. Entonces David se fue por su camino y Saúl se volvió a su lugar. That's it, sir.
Now, how familiar are you with the story between David and Saul?
Well, I know that sir, I know that Saul wasn't a big fan of David, but David always honored him, you know.
Fair enough. So, just to give you a quick overview, so Saul was the first anointed king of Israel. Hey, Officer Magun, if I speak in English, can you understand me pretty good?
Salaki, yeah, I understand. I understand. Not perfect, but I understand you.
No sweat. I'm gonna have Gadiala translate for me then. Gadiala, if you could ask Officer Magun the same question, how much he understands about the issues between David and Saul, Baba Kusha.
Sí, oficial Magan. Bueno, sorry. Sí, estaba preguntando oficial si usted sabe la historia entre lo que más o menos la historia entre Saúl y David.
Council, yeah, so like so far I understand everything you talk. You're talking right now. I understand.
Okay.
If I got any doubt, I'll let you know.
I bet. All right. So, real quick, what's your understanding of David and Saul? You got a pretty good knowledge of that history?
In Spanish, yes, they have a good relationship between between both of them, they had a good relationship, especially Saul's son Jonathan. You know,
Right.
he really loved David, and he was co-signing for David, talking to his father, you know, about the things that he's doing for Israel, you know, that he's not really a guilty man to be killed by his
Right.
father, because his father wanted to kill him, right?
Well, not his father. You're talking about Saul and David?
Saul, yeah, I'm talking about Saul.
Right,
Yes,
Jonathan's father, yeah, wanted to kill David.
yes.
Right. All
Jonathan's
right,
father,
so
Saul.
there were about 3 accounts where Saul was hunting David down, and David had the chance to kill Saul. Realistically, David would have been right to defend himself because Saul was trying to kill him. But every time that David came into that point, he would always kind of check himself because he knew that Saul was the Lord's anointed. You know, that he was the chosen king by the Lord for the people. So David never crossed that line. He never broke that law of brotherhood, even though Saul was still actively trying to kill him. And then every time that David was in that position and then made it known to Saul, Saul would be like, damn, like, you know, yeah, you got me. You know, I appreciate you not killing me. You know, I'm sorry, you know, Salakia, and you know, listen, I'm done. I'm done trying to fight you. But then that spirit of jealousy would always get stirred back up in Saul, and he would always go back out hunting David because he would get reports about David, and his jealousy just overtook his brotherhood, and that demon that was on him, he kept on pursuing David. So now what we just read in 1 Samuel chapter 26. So now if we go back up a little bit, let me find this real quick. Who is like start at verse 1. Start at 26 in verse 1. We're gonna read about this incident.
That's lucky. So you want me to read in Spanish? So the first one?
Go read in Spanish, and I'm gonna follow along with you.
Okay, no problem. Estamos en el libro de primer Samuel, capítulo 26, y vamos a empezar en versículo 1. Dice así: vinieron los cifeos a Saúl en Gebá, diciendo: ¿no está David escondido en el collado de Aquila, al oriente del desierto? Continue, sir.
Yeah, keep going. Well,
Saúl,
maybe all right. Bit by bit, maybe we should break this down. So I'll try not to take up too much time by reading it back in English, but
okay.
Basically, again, Saul is hearing about David, and then I keep going to verse 2.
Versículo 2. Saúl entonces se levantó y descendiendo al desierto de Zif, llevando consigo 3,000 hombres escogidos de Israel para buscar a David en el desierto de Zif.
He chose 3,000 men to go hunting after David and his men. It wasn't just David either. David was with his men, the men that sided with him. And it's not like David was trying to usurp authority, but these were men that were loyal to David. You know, every house has their own people, and these were the men that were loyal to David. So it wasn't just David that was getting hunted down. Saul and his army would have killed every brother that was roaming with David. Go ahead, read verse 3.
Acá, verse 3, versículo 3. Y acampó Saúl en el collado de Aquila, que está al oriente del desierto, junto al camino. Y estaba David en el desierto, y entendió que Saúl seguía en el desierto.
Keep going.
Carmocán, versículo 4. David, por tanto, envió a espías y supo con certeza que Saúl había venido.
So he understood. So he sent out the spies, just to cover their back, and just as it says, he knew that Saul was gaining ground and in pursuit of him. Verse 5.
Carmocán, versículo 5. Y se levantó David y vino al sitio donde Saúl había acampanado. Y miró a David el lugar donde dormían Saúl y Abner, hijo de Ner, general de su ejército. Y estaba Saúl durmiendo en el campamento y el pueblo estaba acampanado alrededor de él.
Verse 6.
Entonces, versículo 6. Entonces David dijo a Ahimelech, Eteo, y a Abisaí, hijo de Sarvia, hermano de Joab, quien descenderá conmigo a Saúl en el campamento. ¿Quién descenderá conmigo a Saúl en el campamento? Y dijo a Abisai, yo descenderé contigo.
Keep going.
Versículo 7. David pues y Abisai fueron de noche al ejército, y he aquí Saúl estaba tendido durmiendo en el campamento, y su lanza clavada en tierra a su cabecera, y Abner y el ejército estaban tendidos alrededor de él.
All right, so now we're seeing how close David was able to get to Saul. In his camp, in his own camp, surrounded by 3,000 warriors, 3,000 killers, David and a couple brothers went down there, snuck in right next to where Saul was sleeping. They could have killed it and ended him right then and there. Verse 8.
Versículo 8. Entonces dijo Abisai a David, hoy he entregado a Yahweh, a tu enemigo, en tu mano ahora, pues déjame que le hiera con la lanza y lo enclavaré en la tierra de un golpe, y no le daré segundo golpe. Should I continue?
Real quick, hold on. Yeah, so Abishai is he wants. I don't want. Well, I guess in a sense you could say he's not as brotherly as David, because he's advocating for David to have him killed. He's even volunteering to be the one to kill Saul. Keep going.
In verse 9. Y David respondió a Abisai, no le mates, porque ¿quién extenderá su mano contra el ungido de Yahweh y será inocente?
All right, keep going.
Versículo 10. Dijo además David, vive Yahweh, que si Yahweh no le hiriere, o si su día llegue para que muera, o descendiendo en batalla perezca.
So now, David's loyalty to Saul is still in the forefront of his mind. He's still acknowledging Saul as the rightful king, as the Lord's anointed, as he keeps on saying. And he knows that wouldn't go unpunished. And all his attempts to try to deter Saul from following that path have thus failed. So I mean, he's basically like, listen, the Lord's gonna deal with him, and you know his day. If he keeps this type of shit up, the Lord's gonna punish him. Because again, David did not do anything wrong to Saul. Saul is very much in the wrong for this. David did not trespass that man at all. Just Saul's jealousy rose up, and because the people saw David after a lot of this happened right after he had killed the Goliath. You know, David wasn't some big, burly, scary-looking dude. He was what they called ruddy. He was a pretty boy. He was he looked like he would have been soft or something. And the people saw his cunning, his charisma, his character, and his skill on the battlefield to kill this known, reputable death machine, this giant Goliath. So after that, people started looking to David. They saw that the Lord was with him, because everybody else in the encampment at the time, they were afraid to go fight that beast. They were afraid to go fight Goliath. But David was like, listen, man, you know, give me my tools, give me my tools. He took a not a slingshot, but a rock sling. He took a rock sling and put dude to death, and then cut off his head with his own sword. So people were amazed by that, and a lot of other people were discouraged by that, because they saw that this pretty boy looking nigga, he had more courage, and he was a young man too at that time. David was a young brother. He had more courage than all these other grown, proven warriors. He had more courage than all these grown men, and put this legend to death. And now he got the love and the acknowledgement of the people, and he got the respect of the people. Saul didn't like that, so he started gunning for David. But even throughout all this, David still acknowledged Saul as the rightful king, still respected him. Or Slakia, we don't really use the word respect in the UPK. It's not a One West term. We use honor. He still honored Saul as the king, and as close as he got. Again, he's sending a message to him, letting him know, like, listen, this could have been it. Well, shit, we're about to get to that. So where are we? Verse 11. Go ahead.
Claro, acá, versículo 11. Y guárdeme a Yahweh de extender a mi mano contra el ungido de Yahweh. Pero toma ahora la lanza que está a su cabecera y la vasija de agua, y vámonos. We're in verse 12. So.
Keep going.
Versículo 12. Se llevó pues David la lanza y la vasija de agua de la cabecera de Saúl, y se fueron. Y no hubo nadie que viese, ni entendiese, ni velase. Pues todos dormían, porque un profundo sueño enviado de Yahweh había caído sobre ellos.
And this should be a grave lesson for a lot of people. The Lord put that sleep on that entire camp to let David and his men in and out, smooth, swift, no noise, no muss, no fuss. Nobody was aware of it. That could have been an enemy that the Lord. So like when David was saying back up in verse, where was it, in verse 9, where he's saying, it's like in verse 10, as the Lord liveth, the Lord shall smite him. So the Lord could have put that deep sleep on him, on Saul and his encampment, and let an enemy sneak in and kill him. Instead, he allowed it to be David to be the one in this position to, how would I say it, to and again, all this is going to be another lesson for Saul, and to prove David's loyalty and love and honor for the Most High, and his choice is Saul as king. But to let Saul know, like, dude, like, you know, this could have been somebody else. This could have been one of David's men instead of King David himself. And all his men wanted to put Saul to death. So the Lord could have done that. But the Lord put that sleep on him to allow David and his men come in. And so a righteous brother who would not see the Lord's anointed get put to death by his own hands or by his men's hands, you know, he still had mercy. He still had mercy, and how would you say, he still winked at Saul for his ignorance. Go ahead, 13.
Salaki, sir. I believe the officer Mugan has his hand raised. Salaki.
Oh, go ahead, Magan, Salakia.
Yes, like I said, and that's a perfect example of the King David, our king practicing brotherhood. That's the
Damn right.
really brotherhood right there.
Damn right. So where was it? What were we reading? I think it was Luke. It was either Matthew or Luke where it was saying, if you approach your brother with anger, if you say rakah, if you call him a fool, Saul was doing a lot worse to David. And David would have been right to seek that judgment. You'd been right to seek that judgment. But he still showed, like you said, Magun, he still showed that brotherhood. And that's what we got here in the UPK. That's something that is so unique to this body versus everybody else that you see out there, versus Christian churches, your Muslim mosques, all your separate camps that are claiming, this Israelite culture. And side note, the only reason why is because they all broke off to school. This originated at school. We start off as what they misuse the term camp. You're not necessarily wrong for it, but they misuse the term camp. But that's why you got so many different camps out there, because they all broke off from home. So now David stayed home despite Saul trying to put him to death out of pure jealousy. David stayed home. He never broke faith. He never broke that bond. He never disobeyed the Most High's ordinances, and he never sought retribution on Saul himself. He said he's going to let the Lord deal with that. But he's sitting there showing Saul, like, listen, it could have been the other way around. And it's about to come out after everybody wakes up. It's about to come out. So where we at? 14.
That's lucky, sir. We're at 13, sir.
13. All right, good.
El libro de Samuel, 1 Samuel capítulo 26, versículo 13 dice lo siguiente. Lucky. Entonces que pasó David al lado opuesto y se puso en la cumbre del monte a lo lejos, habiendo gran distancia entre ellos. ¿Should I continue?
Good.
Versículo 14. Y dio voces David al pueblo. Y Abner, hijo de Ner, diciendo, ¿no respondes, Abner? Entonces Abner respondió y dijo, ¿quién eres tú que gritas al rey?
So, all right. So now this one he's about to unveil everything. So after he had snuck in, he snuck out, created good distance between them so that they couldn't just because they're about to get pretty touchy about this. If they were right there, it's a safe bet to say that Saul would have had his men capture David's men, and kill them all right then and there. So David was smart to pull back to avoid that issue. But he's shouting across to him like hey nigga, can you hear me? And got their attention. Now go ahead to 15.
Versículo 15. Y dijo David a Abner, ¿no eres tú un hombre? ¿Y quién hay como tú en Israel? ¿Por qué, pues, no has guardado el rey tu señor? ¿Por qué uno del pueblo ha entrado a matar a tu señor el rey?
So now Abner, I'd have to check the backstory on the brother, but I believe he had a solid reputation in Israel, and that's why David's cutting Abner with this. Like, ain't you a valiant man? Like, somebody who's supposed to be looking out for the king, who you're loyal to. Go to 16.
Versículo 16. Esto que has hecho no está bien. Vive Yahweh, que sois digno de muerte, porque no habéis guardado a vuestro Señor, el ungido de Yahweh. Mira pues ahora donde está la lanza del rey y la vasija de agua que estaba a su cabecera.
So now again, he's going on with that check and like, listen, man, you just as guilty, you know, as somebody who would have murdered Saul, you'd be just as guilty to get put to death because shit, on your watch, this happened. Now they didn't know that the Lord put that deep sleep on them. David didn't even know like the Lord put that deep sleep on him. This was for them, for their experience in this. It was just, how would I say, it was in the midst of a war. Neither of them knew that the Lord had played his hand on it to make all this possible. But with their skill, with their cunning, they were able to get in, get out, and let them know, like, listen, y'all made a horrible mistake. You know, with y'all sleeping on the job, your king could have gotten killed, and you would have been guilty for that. You know, just like with us today, if you know, if we were in our respective headquarters, like for us in the Midwest, it's in Chicago with Captain Marquardt. So if we were in Chicago and we was all at the school and somebody snuck in there past the guards, past the men that are on Shamar at the doors, we're gonna be held responsible for that. That's why that's why it's so important to take that job serious. If you have on Shamar duty, it could literally be life and death. We never know when that's going to come around the corner. So we just got to make sure that we're doing we got to make sure that we're doing our job. So he's checking Abner like, listen, man, this ain't good. This ain't a good look for you. You know, ye are worthy to die because ye have not kept your master, the Lord's anointed. Keep going to 17.
Versículo 17. Y conociendo a Saúl la voz de David, dijo, ¿No es esta tu voz, hijo mío David? Y David respondió, mi voz es, rey, señor mío.
All right, David heard that voice, and he knew that this wasn't going to be a good sign. Keep going.
Versículo 18, Solakio. Y dijo, ¿por qué persigue así mi señor a su siervo? ¿Qué he hecho? ¿Qué mal hay en mí, mano?
Keep going.
Versículo 19. Ruego, pues que el rey mi señor oiga ahora las palabras de su siervo. Si Jehová, si Yahweh te incita contra mí, acepte él la ofrenda. Mas si fueron hijos de hombres, malditos sean ellos en la presencia de Yahweh, porque me han arrojado hoy, porque no tenga parte en la heredad de Yahweh.
All right, so again, David didn't do nothing wrong to Saul, and he's sitting there asking him, like, you know, what offense did I make to you? And so in 19, this is a pretty heavy point here. So it says, if the Lord have stirred thee up against me, let him accept an offering. So like if there was something that David had done to warrant the Lord, you know, stirring him up against him, let him accept an offering. Let you know, whatever he needs to do to make this situation right, you know, he's willing to go through that. He's willing to do this. But if they be the children of men, cursed be they before the Lord, for they have driven me out this day from abiding in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, go serve other gods. If the Lord didn't have nothing to do with it, and if these were just the choices of men, then he's like, listen, like fuck y'all, man. Like y'all drove me from my home. Y'all drove me from being in around the brotherhood. Y'all drove me from my brother David. You know what I'm saying? He drove him out from his people, from his family. He had to go on the run for his life. He's like, listen, man, like damn near like woe unto you. Like you're like I'm. It's like what do you say? Cursed be they before the Lord. You know, if the Lord didn't have nothing to do with this, because David sure knows that he didn't do nothing to offend Saul. So these are just the actions of men going on here. We were verse 20, good.
Versículo 20. No caiga pues ahora mi sangre en tierra delante de Yahweh, porque ha salido el rey de Israel a buscar una pulga, así como quien persigue una perdiz por los montes.
Slacky, I'm glad that we reread all this. I had it in the wrong context. It's still the same thing, but David is just saying to him, like, it's not gonna be my blood that spills on this, or at least I hope it ain't, because again, he would be an innocent man, so he ain't trying to die for other men's ignorance and arrogance and their pride and their jealousy. And because he's keeping in with the commandments of the Lord. So it's still that same metaphor. For the king of Israel has come out to seek a Slack. For the king of Israel has come out to seek a flee. So now this is actually talking about Saul, the king of Israel. He's actually talking about him. He's come out to seek a flee, kind of talking about the actions that Saul is doing. Like, dude, you coming out here looking for nothing. Like you looking for, you know, an off-white spot, an off-white blemish on a pure white, you know, piece of leather. You coming out here just looking for something to pick on. You're looking for a flea. You're looking for something annoying. You're looking for something to kill me over. But like, you're not gonna find it, because again, how hard is a flea to find? How hard is it to hunt partridge in the mountains? You know, like you're going out of your way to look for something that's just not there. So Salaki, I had the wrong context of it there, but now that we read through everything's adding up.
Go.
All right, go ahead to 21.
El versículo 21. Entonces dijo Saúl, he pecado, vuélvete, hijo mío David, que ningún mal te haré más, porque mi vida ha sido estimada preciosa hoy a tus ojos. He aquí, yo he hecho neciamente y he errado en gran manera.
All right, so now again, no, you good. So now again, this is another example when Saul is apologizing and he's salty that not only did he's mainly salty that he got snuck up on. He's not really salty at the checking from David, and David did that. So David would rank below Saul here, but David still checked Saul brotherly, as a son would to a father. He didn't disrespect him. He didn't call him out his name, but he's letting him know, like, listen, like, you Saul, you bugging, man, you tripping. Like you looking for something. You looking to find something guilty in me that's just not there. What have I done to you? And you coming out to hunt me down. And David, and now Saul is kind of, he's kind of in his chest now. So again, he's apologizing, telling David, hey, come on back, man. I'm sorry. Let's put this all behind us. I'll never do it again. Keep going.
So lucky, Khan. We're in 22. Yes, versículo 22. Y David respondió y dijo, he aquí la lanza del rey. Pase acá uno de los criados y tómela. So I continue?
Now you good. And then so now he shows what he's got up here. And he's like David ain't no fool, man. He knows that if he were to come over, just cross right back over there, unguarded, unarmed, because approaching the king, like his men ain't gonna let him approach the king with a sword or something like that, because they're gonna be worried about David. Saul's been trying to kill him this whole damn time. Somebody's knowing that David's gonna kill him. David's gonna want to kill him, so they're not gonna just let him come up to him with a weapon. So he would have to go in there unguarded, unarmed, at the mercy of Saul's love and compassion, which we're reading is not really there. So he's like, listen, man, send one of your young men over. Send one of your troopers on over here to come get your shit. Keep going.
Carhuancán, versículo 23, Slakia. Y Yahweh pague a cada uno su justicia y su lealtad, pues Yahweh te había entregado hoy en mi mano. Mas yo no quise extender mi mano contra el ungido de Yahweh.
So now, David, how would I explain it? So David's again, this is still him checking Saul. Like, listen, man, you know, for all the good works that men are doing, and you know the faithfulness of those who keep the laws, you know, may the Lord, you know, bless them, you know, render unto them what's appropriate, reward them just dues for their actions. And I don't want to say he's patting himself on his back, but again, he's letting Saul know, like, listen, man, I could have killed you, but I'm not that type of dude. I'm not gonna stretch forth my hand against the Lord's anointed. I ain't like that. Keep going to 24.
Carhuancán, versículo 24. Y he aquí como tu vida ha sido estimada, preciosa hoy en mis ojos. Así sea mi vida a los ojos de Yahweh, y me libre de toda aflicción.
Now, this is another heavy brotherhood lesson too that you know we can all learn from. Because I'm sure, you know, with a lot of us back in the world, we held the fate of somebody's life in our hands. And so the lesson here, the same way that Saul had been offensive to David, and David still chose brotherhood and mercy under Saul, trying to teach him a lesson, trying to squash that whatever kind of beef he's got with him, and Saul was still in pursuit. David saying, I pray the Lord does the same thing for me. Because even though David hadn't committed no sins against the Lord, he kept all the laws, he kept brotherhood and all that. What the scriptures say, let all our righteousness be as filthy rags. I'm paraphrasing that. We still ain't shit. Keeping the laws is the bare minimum. That's what we're supposed to do. Paying your tithes to Commanding General Yana to the ISUPK, that's what we're supposed to do. You don't get any brownie points for keeping the laws. Nobody's going to pat you on the back for not eating pork. But you will be acknowledged if you got a demon on you telling you to eat that pork and you battling like hell to not eat it. And then you overcome that spirit and you persevere. You know, that's a little bit different. But it's still, you're still keeping the laws. All right, no sweat. You overcame that. Good. That's not going to guarantee you, you know, any type of stature. Like you're not going to be raised up to a captain just because you're not stealing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're supposed to do as a people. So that's the lesson. That's the metaphor that he's using. Like he's praying that the Lord have the same mercy and the same judgment on David if he were to make an offense that he had on Saul, because Saul was making an offense. All right, so now read 25.
Carhuancán, versículo 25. Y Saúl dijo a David, bendito eres tú, hijo mío David, sin duda emprenderás tus cosas grandes y prevalecerás. Entonces David se fue por su camino y Saúl se volvió a su lugar.
Now we're going to end it with chapter 27, verse 1. So now again, how would I can only try to equate this like a scene in the movies or something like that. Like Saul sitting there, you know, he's hearing all this from David, getting that checking, not feeling too good about himself because of it, but he's still king, so he's still pompous, he's still proud, he's still arrogant about it. So he's saying like, you know what? Like I nigga, like you gonna do some good shit. Like you're gonna excel, you're gonna be all right. But he's saying it in kind of like a spiteful way. Like that. That's how David's kind of feeling this vibe. So read 27:1, Bob Shah.
Acá, el libro de Flaquia, Primera de Samuel, versículo 27 y 1. Dijo luego David en su corazón, al fin se muere algún día por la mano de Saúl. Nada, por tanto, me será mejor que fugarme a la tierra de los filisteos para que Saúl no se ocupe de mí y no me ande buscando más por todo el territorio de Israel. Y así escaparé de su mano.
All right, so now David ain't convinced that Saul has changed his heart at all, because again, this ain't the first time that Saul has been in this predicament. So David's just convinced that one day Saul is gonna end up catching up to him and he's gonna kill him. So he's like, listen, again, if we were to refer back to, or was it 26:10, David's saying like, listen, I'm gonna lead this up to the Lord. So instead of being in such a close proximity to Saul, he's like, you know what, we're just gonna get up out of here. So he takes his men. They, as you read more, it'll go into that. But he just decides like, listen, we're just gonna get up out of this area, and hopefully that'll give Saul, no reason to come seek him out. Hopefully ain't nobody gonna be wasting time still going back and forth between Saul and David, trying to tell Saul what David doing. Oh, David's over here with his men. They're living, they're prospering, they're happy, they're healthy, to further, piss Saul off and to further stir up them spirits. So David, again, in his modesty, in his humbleness, and in his spirit of brotherhood, he's like, listen, man, I'm just gonna leave this area. That'd be like I'm gonna get off the East Coast and I'm gonna go to the West Coast. I'm gonna just put distance between us, and hopefully this will calm that fire down. And that's the spirit. Like if things get bad, like, and even in the UPK, we might not all be buddies. We might not all, vibe the same way. I think General Muhammad had brought this out not that long ago in one of the scripture breakdown classes. Like-minded people tend to flock to each other. So, people that might be into cars and sports and shit like that, they're gonna kind of congregate together more because they speak that lingo. I don't know really shit about cars. I'm not really big into sports like that. They're still my brothers though. I'm more into MMA. I'm more into I blacksmith, I weld, I fabricate. I'm into art and building shit. I'm more on that side. So I might vibe just easier with other brothers and sisters who are into making garments and leather work and woodwork and metal work and blowing glass and ceramics and ceramics and all that shit. But that doesn't break the brotherhood between us. But we might not all be best friends. We might not all be, thick as thieves, as close as David and Jonathan. And that's okay. We ain't gotta be. Because when brotherhood calls, we are to answer that call. No matter what side of the fence we are on, no matter how we think or feel about sports, entertainment, music, whatever the hell that we might be divided on, we're still united in this body under the Most High in Christ. In the ISUPK Commander General Yohana, we still united there. That is that one body. So we ain't got to worry about liking the same sports teams. We just watched the Garcia versus Davis. And on Facebook, a lot of brothers going back and forth on why Davis is going to win, why Garcia is going to win. I was going for Garcia because I think Davis is an arrogant, purse-wearing weirdo. And I can't let my boy go down, losing to a nigga like that. But Davis won. So my response was like, all right, fair fight. He won clean. It was a clean, fair fight. The moral of the story, I'm saying, fuck Trump. So it's, not everybody's gonna be that close knit, but that does not stop the brotherhood here. And that is part of our job as priests and prophets, as officers and captains and troopers in this school, as generals in this school, to maintain that level of brotherhood. That same way that David was willing to die for his people, to die for his king, to defend his people, defend his king, to not put harm to his people, not put harm to his king. You know, after he's being pursued, him and his men. So that's a rough thing to go through. Imagine, Commanding General, it's like I ain't even gonna say that. Imagine, some reputable nigga in Israel, trying to hunt one of us down, but because we still got brotherhood towards, Nathaniel, for example, Nathaniel 7 from the Purple People Eaters. If he were to get salty and try to hunt Commanding General Yohanan down, Commanding General Yohanan would be right to have that man get put to death. But in his spirit of brotherhood, chances are he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. He would rather do to learn from this and to reinvigorate the spirit of brotherhood in him versus having to lose another member of Israel. That's what we would rather have as a nation. It is our heart's desire, and I'm paraphrasing this. It's our heart's desire that all of Israel be saved, even though the prophecies do say that 2/3 of us is going to get cut off. That does not guarantee that anybody in this chat right now, that anybody in the UPK is guaranteed that 1/3 spot. That's why we don't do that 1/3 doctrine. But you got people out there that do teach that shit, which further divides Israel because they're just assuming in their head and in their ego that they are going to be that 1/3 that gets saved, not taking into account any offenses that they might make along the way that's going to put them in that 2/3 slots. So in this school, UPK, under Commanding General Yohanan, all we do is strive for that perfection, making sure that we're maintaining brotherhood and keeping these laws. The laws is the bare minimum. Brotherhood is part of those laws. So that's still part of the bare minimum. But we go above and beyond. And again, that's the rare and unique thing about the UPK. It's legit, it's sincere, and it's genuine. And I can say that from experience because of all the different brothers that I've been around. Officer McGunn had hooked me up with a free bottle of his beard oil, which is beautiful, by the way. I love that shit, man. I'm definitely gonna get more. I'm gonna be shopping with you. I love that stuff. Thank you.
Come on, sir.
And so with that, the water to you. With that, we can close this out unless anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns that you'd like to pose.
So like I said, if I could, I just want to say all the problems we saw started for disobedience, and that's why we have to really, really be serious about the truth and follow the commandment of the Lord.
That's right.
Exactly the way he tells us to do it.
That's right.
All his problems started with the disobedience of the Lord, So, eso es lo único que yo quiero dejarles saber. I'm going to say in Spanish, el rey Saúl, todos los problemas de él empezaron cuando él desobedeció la orden del Señor, cuando él fue y él tenía que matar a sus enemigos y matar a los animales y matar todo, y él se quedó con unas propiedades. Al él desobedecer, ahí empezó todo el problema con él. ¿Me sigue? Entonces, que lo más importante es ahora mismo seguir los mandamientos, los estatutos, todas las direcciones exactamente al pie de la letra como lo dice el Señor. ¿Me entiendes? Y aquí está el Shalom Yahweh Bashem Barakatá, el oficial de Acuña, México. Está aquí.
Right.
¿Me entiendes? Van Yashakar de Acuña en la casa. Saludos. That's all I gotta say in Spanish, sir.
Hey, no sweat. I trust you. That sounded good. So, all right, looks like the other brother had left off. So I will leave you to it, brother. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shabrakatah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shabrakatah.
All right, go be with you and yours. Shalom.
Shalom.